Our first speaker this afternoon is someone that everybody working in Oriental coins knows the name of and probably uses his books almost daily. So I certainly do.
Thank you.
And it's Michael Mitchiner, and he's going to talk about coins in Western Turkey at the beginning of coinage.
Yeah, tiny coins. This is not meant to be a very academic talk. It's what I've tried to do is to select one or two fairly well-known pieces of evidence, put them together and see what happens. What we have told to us by Herodotus, who was a Greek historian living in Western Turkey in the 5th century BC, he said the Lydians were the first people we know of to strike gold and silver coins and to use them. And so they were the first also to retail goods. And another translation, shopping. So let's try and see what exists and whether Herodotus is meaningful. So Herodotus was talking about the marketplace economy. So the market. Did the tiny silver coins have enough or low enough value to service marketplace trade? And were they numerous enough, the tiny coins? Croesus's silver coins. They have on the front his badge, lion and bull. The large denominations have a couple of punches on the reverse. And the shekel, 3rd, 6th, 12th, 24th is the smallest I've seen. So that's the silver denominations. The shekels, the big ones, they're fairly numerous. 1/6 of a shekel, and the third also, 1/6 of a shekel, not terribly common. If one looks in places like the BM and the Ashmolean for the tiny coins, I think there are only 2 or 3 of the 1/24th shekel in the 2 museums. Were they popular enough to service Herodotus' claim that they introduced retail trade? Well, if one looks around, there are more of these small coins available. So that's slightly higher magnification of the 24th shekel. Yeah. For a comparison, we'll go a bit down the west coast of Turkey to Miletus. So an important port city, created several colonies. At the time of Croesus, Miletus was still striking electrum coins. It changed over to silver about the 520s and was destroyed by the Persians in 494. So that's a nice electrum coin of Miletus and dates from about the same period as Croesus, further north. As we'll discuss later in terms of their purchasing power, the Miletus electrum was the price of 4 sheep, approximately. The most popular silver coins of Miletus have been well researched, and those are some examples. 12th stater. So the 12th staters that we've just looked at are very common. Smaller coins of Miletus, again, they're around, but they're not in vast numbers. These are the smallest, 1/64th of Earth stater. And we've got dates for those because Miletus only started minting silver about 520, and the city was destroyed by the Persians in 494. So this is a group of tiny ones with the lion badge of Miletus and a bird. Different varieties. There's the bird standing to the right. There are more varieties. The bird standing to the right and two pellets. So these one's 0.3 grams, the other's 0.2 and 5 millimeters diameter, and a further variety of the same class. So what one can say when we go back to Herodotus is that we do have, during the period circa 520 to 494, a plentiful supply of silver coins, tiny ones, in the market, which would justify his assessment that marketplace silver coinage was extant from the time of Lydia. Now, we want some prices, which are always difficult to find. But we have got the Darius I. Remember, Miletus was part of the Persian Empire. Darius I, the Persian emperor, built his palace at Persepolis, and he did cite one or two costings. So a sheep cost 3 silver shekels, uncoined. Jar of wine, 1 silver shekel. The tiny coins of Croesus, the 1/20, would be worth approximately 1/80th of a sheep. In case anyone thinks that what we've just said is unique to Western Turkey, it's not. This is just a comparison. So it's a nice silver penny English of William the Conqueror. One consistent thing with English merchants of the period was that they kept asking the king to make farthings because they needed farthings for their trade and livelihoods. So when the king didn't make any farthings or commission them, they used to cut up pennies into quarters. And Edward I was the first English king to mint farthings. And these are 3 farthings of Edward I. The English silver penny was consistently around 1.5 grams of silver, farthing 0.4. There's a close parallel between the silver standard that was being used in Lydia and Miletus and the silver standard in medieval England before we started reducing all the silver weights. What the retail economy wanted was remarkably similar for Croesus, Miletus, and England, medieval England. So these tiny silver coins were basically the price of a meal at an inn.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Pleasure.